It was great. It was fantastic. That was the most amazing thing I have ever seen. It was shocking. Everybody loved it. Everybody hates me. And so on. Many people, including me, use a lot these words. Everybody. Always. Very. Really. Totally. Absolutely. That is to say, many times we tend to talk in superlatives, when in effect we act rather poorly. I think we partly do this, partly to draw the attention, to secure the attention of others, to anchor the attention of others. Now I would like to play with the idea of ownership here too, because I think there might be some implications for the idea of objectification in our attempts to draw attention and somehow colonize the attention of others. To make a photograph is essentially to objectify a process. By process I mean that the word that is captured in a snapshot is always unrolling into ever-varying moments. So by snapping the shot, it's funny the way the word shot, shooting a film or photograph, as if killing the process, objectifying the process, or to say a pun, to steal life. It's rendering the uncontrollable controllable. And every visualizing technology is about objectifying something that is evanescent, and thus to make it manipulable and controllable. And the same way, to speak or to pride oneself, or as Epictetus says, to call oneself a philosopher, or to talk of your principles, is to extend oneself in an attempt maybe not only to anchor the attention of others, but also to colonize the attention of others, to somehow, it's a bad word, but to objectify and possess the other person, or at least his or her attention. Maybe we have a significance then when we externalize ourselves thus, or maybe it's because of the illusion that language is the easiest means to achieve that end, because words facilitate the process or the gesture of extension, of objectification. Now let me read Epictetus, and 46 and 47 are the entries. So in 46, Epictetus says, "On no occasion call yourself a philosopher, nor talk at large of your principles among the multitude, but act on your principles." And at the end he says, "For sheep do not bring grass to their shepherds and show them how much they have eaten, but they digest their fodder and then produce it in the form of wool and milk. Do the same yourself. Instead of displaying your principles to the multitude, show them the results of the principles you have digested." in 47 he says, when you have adopted the simple life, do not pride yourself upon it. And if you are a water drinker, do not say on every occasion I am a water drinker. And if you ever want to train laboriously, keep it to yourself and do not make a show of it. Do not embrace statues. This is a nice motto. Do not embrace statues. It could be a nice motto. If you are very thirsty, take a good draught of cold water and rinse your mouth and tell no one. So the bottom line here is that be what you are and not speak of what you think you are or what you would like others to think of you. And similarly to narratology, I think in fiction writing there is an unwritten law that description is inferior compared to dramatization or dramatization. So instead of writing he was angry, instead of writing such a proposition simply, it's better to verbally enact or dramatize the anger and write his knuckles shown white, or to write in a very tight-paced tone when you write about anger. So the sentiment should radiate from the words rather than being merely pasted on the text. Because if a text does not radiate a tone or a quality, if a text lacks style, beauty, it has to be full of surprises, suspense, to maintain interest for the reader. And an static text achieves this without the help of variation, of ever-changing plots. And this is true of YouTube too, I think, because many users revert to idiosyncrasies and constant stimuli bombardment to anchor attention. But I think most of us are dazzled by the radiation of a personality more than the amount of exciting stuff on display. So the points that Epictetus makes is, I think, something like this. It's hard enough to get a grip on oneself, let alone others. So the quest should be internalized rather than externally pursued. And maybe I would like to close this with a question. I wrote a question. So, which would you prefer? When a talkative, always enthusiastic person said to you that it was superb, it was really, really great, the best description I have ever heard. Or when an otherwise laconic person said, this was interesting. Which would you prefer?